Hey, welcome back to Seen, Known, Paid. I'm your host, Marina Gerges, and we've been on a bit of a break. But because of that and all the exciting things happening in my personal life, we decided to put together some of our favorite bits from our past episodes so that you can continue learning and building your true to self, authentic personal brand. And here is one of our favorite bits from one of our past episodes. So tune in.
What am I talking about? What the hell am I talking about? I'm talking about fear and how, as business owners, we need to befriend the fear. The fear is your guide, it's not your enemy. The fear is there to tell you when you're about to make an important decision, when you're about to do something that is outside of the comfort zone. And a lot of people ask me, how do you do this? Like, aren't you scared? Of course, I'm scared shitless. But I want to tell you how I got to that point where I seem fearless on the outside because I feel a lot of fear. And I want to dive into how that also manifests into my business and my business decisions and how it actually guides me. And I use it as a compass to know that I'm on the right path. So let's get into it. The first thing I want to say about fear is that it manifests differently in our bodies. For me, for example, fear in my body feels like feeling sick, like I'm about to throw up. And I could pull from a recent instance where I was about to launch the retreat. So actually, let's back up. I was in a breathwork session. And while I was in this breathwork session, I kind of had been in a place in my business where I'm like, I don't know what's next for me exactly, but I do feel like I am in a place where I want to up level and I want to do the next thing. But I couldn't pinpoint what the next thing is for me in my business. So I could feel fear and resistance there to doing maybe the retreats, which I thought was something I've been wanting to do. And I've been thinking about doing retreats for many years now. But I just couldn't put my hands on how would it look like if I was ready to launch a retreat or host a retreat. And a lot of these negative thoughts and beliefs started to pop up. So I was at this breathwork session on a random Thursday at the beach here in Puerto Escondido. And while I was laying down and working through with my breath and feeling the earth really support me, I had an aha moment. I downloaded a whole vision for what I want my retreats to look like. And right after that vision came to me, I wrote it down. I talked to my coach and I'm like, I'm ready to do retreats. I can no longer ignore the voice that's telling me that I want to do and host retreats. So I was sitting with the idea for a few days and I was like, I need to start doing this. I need to start putting it out there. And I kid you not, for a whole maybe 2 weeks, I would start creating the landing page for my retreat and I would feel sick to my stomach. I felt like I wanted to throw up. And I would text my coach and be like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I'm sick, but I just have been wanting to throw up. And my stomach is in knots every time I look at the retreat landing page or I even think about talking about it on social media. And that's when I knew that every time I've wanted to create something that pushes me to the next level in my business or my life, I have felt fear to the point of feeling it actually manifest in my body as sickness. So I want you to pay attention for the next time you're about to launch something big in your business or you're about to make a major decision. Maybe it's breaking up with that person that you've been trying to break up with for the last God knows how long. And you get the knots in your stomach, or you feel like throwing up, or you just feel fear and resistance, and you keep pushing it away and pushing it away. That is exactly the thing that's going to move you closer to where you need to be in your dream vision for your life. So, this is how, as business owners, we can start using fear as a guide. So, another way is I started to look at my life and kind of in retrospect. And I remember the first time I traveled solo, and I talked about this on the podcast before, but I was 20 years old, and at that time I had just moved to the US, and my biggest dream was to travel. I wanted to see the world. So I put Southeast Asia on my vision board. And I had called up one of my friends who I know loves to travel back home. And I told her, hey, I want to go to Southeast Asia. I want to go to Thailand. Do you want to come with? And we were going together. My friend calls me um, like a few weeks later and had booked my ticket already. I had been saving up for this dream trip. And she goes like, I am not coming with you, Marina. And I'm like, oh shit. I just spent so much money on this ticket at that time. And I was confronted with this choice at that point. Like, do I go on this trip, like actually go after my dreams and my vision and make it a reality? I have the ticket already. Or do I just cancel everything? I felt the same kind of knots in my stomach that I felt when I was launching my retreat. I felt fear. I felt like I wanted to throw up. I felt scared and I didn't know if I could travel alone. Could I do it? Am I capable of going anywhere in this world alone as a 20-year-old who doesn't know the language or hasn't traveled by herself before? It was insane to me, but I did it. And I remember feeling so much fear at the airport. And when I got to Bangkok, I was freaking the F out. I was like, I don't know how I can survive here. Like, this is insane. I need to return back. I'm going back to the US. So it's crazy because fast forward 10 years later, I am still traveling the world solo. And it looks fearless and it looks seamless on the outside, but a lot of us are still so scared of doing things on our own. And all I had to do was flex that muscle of knowing how to do things on my own and to travel solo. And I did that by feeling the fear the first time and going for it. So going for it, and while still doubting if I could even do it, allowed me to keep doing it, allowed me to keep traveling solo for many years later. And now I do it so seamlessly and so effortlessly. I still feel lonely every now and then. Of course, solo travel is not easy, but I've gone to a point where my body knows what to do. I know how to be in the solo energy while traveling. I know how to manage difficult situations. The other time I felt that was right before I quit corporate job. And I hear this a lot from people asking, like, when do you know it's the right time to quit your corporate job? You don't know when the right time is. Literally, no one is going to be standing there and telling you, like, hey, you need to quit your job now. So if you feel like quitting your job, you're going to have to deal with that fear that's coming up and know that maybe you know when the right time is and your body is wise and it's telling you and it's guiding you. So it's amazing how when we hear the fear and follow what the fear is telling us and where it's guiding us, and we take that decision despite the fear, we can end up in places better than we've ever known before or could ever imagine. Like, if I didn't quit that corporate job when I did, will I be here today? Traveling the world 4 years later, I have complete control over my schedule. I get to create my dream lifestyle. I get to live on my own terms. I get to live in these beautiful countries. Like this year, I'm splitting my time between Mexico and Greece. Like, how dreamy is that? And actually then do what I needed to do and allow space for more beautiful things to come into my life. So I want you to start looking at where in your life do you feel fear right now? Let's just take a moment and think about where in my life do I feel fear right now? And try to tap into the resistance that's coming up. What is the story that's coming up around that? Like that you will not have enough money to support yourself, that no one else will love you, or that you won't find another great partner, or that what will people think of you? And know all of that that's coming up. Thank these thoughts and these stories, acknowledge them, and then think about what could potentially happen if you decide to follow what this fear is trying to help you do. If you decide to break up with that person, go on that solo trip, quit your job, launch the retreat, launch that big dream project of yours, what could potentially manifest into your life? How exciting does that feel? And do you believe that you actually deserve that? That you are worthy of all those amazing things coming into your life? that there's space for your life for more than what you have right now. And that's not being greedy or ungrateful. That's you knowing that there is space for more to come into your life. So, with that, I want you to think about what small action can you take today to acknowledge the fear and honor it and move courageously forward towards your dreams. And that is how you know you're on the right path. When you start to feel fear and resistance about making a decision, whether it's start a business, launch a project, do whatever it is that your heart desires, and there's fear and resistance, just know that you're about to do something major with your life, something that will potentially change the whole trajectory of where you're going with your life. I hope you trust yourself in making those decisions. So I strategically guide you through building an authentic online brand presence, creating content that feels like you, taking decisions in your business that light you the F up so that you don't reach the point of burnout or you wanting to ghost your audience for 6 months in a row. So if you feel called to work with me, fill out one of the application forms and I'll reach out to you so that we can set up a discovery call. And I hope to see you in the next episode. Bye for now.